right, now we're going to go into meditation. We're going to sing the song Deliver Me. Give me this day my daily bread. Forgive me all my trespasses. Lead me not into dismay, but let me pray upon the highest hill. Let me know the beauty of thy will. From it let me not stray, but deliver me from negativity. Baptize me in your majesty. Christen me with the love that is free. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. When I realize that we are one, and only with these eyes do I see.
This is a special time. Time to just relax. Let go. Know there's only one power, one presence in the universe and in our lives. God the good, omnipotent, omnipresent. So we just relax, let go. Open our hearts and our minds this morning. And knowing that truth is powerful. And that truth prevails. So if you will, let the words that I say this morning be your words, those of your heart. I affirm this morning that I've come here to be powerful in this life. That I'm living in a special moment in time. And every day, in extraordinary ways, I'm here to make a difference. Let those words be your words. I am here to make a difference. I'm called to harness the power and the wisdom within me of good, all good. I don't shrink from my role as bearer of its light. No, I embrace the power within me. Power for good. I don't shrink from my role within me to lead, to live, to love. No. So in the silence, just for a few moments, contemplate the ways that you do help to make a difference in the world. Open yourself up for guidance as to how you can further be a light to others. For it's in that knowing that we all need each other that we're willing to step forth to do that which we are called to do. So as we go into the silence, keep those thoughts in your mind in the silence. And so as we bring our consciousness back to the room, affirm to yourself, I do not shrink or play it small. I openly embrace my power. I'm here to make a difference. And I shine my light freely and joyfully. I have come here in this life to be powerful, and so it is. Amen.
Daily bread, forgive me all my trespasses. Lead me not into dismay, but let me pray upon the highest hill. Let me know the beauty of thy will. From it, let me not stray, but deliver me from negativity. Baptize me in your majesty. Christen me with the love that is free. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. When I realize that we are one, and only with these eyes do I see. Thy word is heard from mountains high, in valleys low, through summer skies, in lands of war and lands where there is peace. Namaste, Satnam, Waheguru Jai Sitaram. I behold the Christ in you. From Catholic saints to Hindu names, Buddhist chants to Zen refrains, plus all the paths our feet walk to be free. Namaste, Satnam, Waheguru Jai Sitaram. I behold the Christ in you. I behold the Christ in you. So at this time, we're going to welcome our guest performer who's helping me out today, Mike MJ Jordan. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you, everyone. I gave some thought on my two songs that I was going to perform for you today, so I'm bringing two songs to the table that I've written. And the first one is called Treat Each Other Like God Would. So I'm sitting at home and my kitchen table, and it's like, gosh, I need to write a song because I was making a CD, and you guys know, most of you, some of you know Doreen Pariba. It's like she's got all these great songs, and I have like 1.5, and it's like I need to write songs, and like, how do you do that, right? So they came, and they came up pretty good. And Michael's going to join me. Treat each other like God would. Be grateful for what you have. Enjoy each day as you should. Don't take for granted your better half, and treat each other like God would. Pick up a child, show your love, hug someone and say I love you. Give thanks to the Lord above, and treat each other like God would. Be in alignment to receive, then you'll know you feel great. To make it happen, you have to believe
Why would you wait? Visualize peace in your life. Imagine the joy with no strife. Follow your bliss, it's real good. And treat each other like God would, right? Be in alignment to receive, then you'll know you feel great. To make it happen, you have to believe. Why would you wait? Be grateful for what you have. Enjoy each day as you should. Don't take for granted your better half, and treat each other like God would. And treat each other like God would.
Thank you.
A little bit of harmony there. Hey, that was nice. Really enjoyed it. Well, it's a delight to be here. It's been a few years since I came here and was a guest minister, so I enjoy being here. And this morning we also want to just hold in our thoughts and our minds, certainly Reverend Bodie, as he goes through some difficult times in his life. So we recognize this and we just hold him in that light and love. He and I, by the way, went through our 2 years of Unity Ministerial School together. And so I know Ross quite well. I know you call him Reverend Bodie, but I know him as Ross. But anyway, a great guy, and we've known each other a long time and appreciate one another too. So now there was a journalist one time assigned to Jerusalem. So she takes an apartment overlooking the Wailing Wall. You all have heard about the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, certainly. And every day she looks out her window and she sees this old Jewish man praying vigorously against the wall. So she goes down one day and introduces herself to the old man, and she says, you know, you come to this wall every day. How long have you done that? And what are you praying for? The old man replies, well, I've come here to pray every day for 25 years. I pray for world peace, brotherhood of man, and then I pray for the eradication of illness, disease from the earth. And the journal, she's amazed. And she says, well, how does it make you feel to come here every day for 25 years and pray for these things, she asks. The old man looks at her kind of sadly, like I'm talking to a wall. We know in Genesis, most of you remember verse 1 through 3. In the beginning, the earth was an endless void and only darkness. God said, let there be light, and there was light. Well, just what is light? What is light? Now, there's a lot of scientific definitions, I guess you can call, of light. Physics tells us that matter is nothing more than gravitationally trapped light or energy. That light's the essence of all substance. Everything in the universe is reducible to light, they say. All matter, all substance, before manifesting in particular forms such as trees or plants or whatever, is pure light. I wonder if that applies to humans. Of course, light has been prominent in most religions in the world, hasn't it? Light or enlightenment, considered to be spiritual awareness, illumination, guiding spirit, perhaps, and a presence in each one of us. Jesus took light, he applied it to humankind. He talked about the light within, didn't he? I'm sure what he was implying here is that as the earth was waste and void, as Genesis said, so is our consciousness, waste and void. That is waste and void until we know that the Spirit of God is within the depths of our own being and is moving us and guiding us in the right and purposeful direction. That our greatest need, believe it or not, is for the light. Our greatest need is for the light, which represents illumination, intelligence, and wisdom. Jesus used the word nura. His language was Aramaic, if you recall. And it's a word that means light, it means enlightenment, it means insight, brightness, brilliance, understanding. But it also symbolically represents God's word or the teaching, the true teaching. Nura, he's told. That was the word. And then in John 8:12, we find Jesus saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. In other words, we'll have enlightenment and clear understanding. And then in Matthew 5, verse 14, if you remember, he's quoted as saying, you are the light of the world. And later in that same chapter, he says, let your light so shine before others. Let your light so shine before others. I think you'd agree that what he's trying to teach us here is let your enlightenment and your understanding be known to others by how you act and how you live your life. That we as humans will see clearly when enlightenment is present in all of us. That we don't really have to stumble around through life. In other words, you and I have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to let our love and our compassion and our goodness shine as a way of life to make the world better around us. Make it a better place. And when we follow his teachings and our principles and our practices of unity and new thought, when we follow those, living in what we call the Christ consciousness, we'll also be an example for others to follow. There's an author by the name of Nancy Mercurio. She once wrote a book called Escaping the Chaos Within. And in it, she challenges us to be aware of three aspects of living our life that can prevent us from letting our light shine brightly. First, she says, we must believe in ourselves. We must believe in ourselves. She talks about what a difficult time she had because she'd been so dependent on other people all her life. Finally realizing what that was doing to her, she decided she could no longer live her life based on what others wanted her to do. No longer allowing them to influence what she would choose for herself. And she knew she had to develop a strong sense of self-worth that certainly had been lacking in her life. For she had spent the greater portion of her life just believing in others more than herself. And she says through constant awareness of this and living from her inner source, she was able to, over time, to increase confidence in herself and begin to believe in herself. Some of you may recognize the name Marianne Williamson. I see nodding heads. Yeah, she ran for president, if you recall, not too long ago, this last election. She wrote this. She wrote a book, first of all, called A Return to Love. And she wrote this called Our Deepest Fear. And she said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, so am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to manifest the glory of God within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Wow, very powerful statement. Secondly, Nancy says that you have to be yourself. Isn't it so true that we constantly like to define ourselves in this country, in this world, by what we do? Oh, I'm a teacher, I'm a secretary, or I'm this, I'm that. And you ask them what they do, and that's the kind of answers you're going to get, isn't it? What do you do? And we're also known by, who are you? Anyone ever ask you, who are you? You really mean it? Who are you? Deep down? No, we don't ask that question, do we? We all have these identities. Well, I'm a housewife, or I'm a secretary, or whatever, husband, wife, and it goes on and on. And it's almost like having to pull all the leaves away from the core to get to the heart of the artichoke. You ever try to get that heart out of the artichoke, and you gotta keep peeling the leaves off? That's almost what it's like, trying to find out, who are you really? Who are you really? Because the very last thing we can identify with ourselves is, who are we as a human being? As a person in our heart. Nancy has a pretty neat exercise she urges us all to do. I did it. I know it's meaningful. She says, go into your old photo albums, not just your iPhone. That's too recent. Pull out all the random pictures of yourself from as early in childhood as you possibly can find. And then all up through your lifetime, a picture here and a picture there. And she says, just try focusing on you as the person in the photograph at that time. Forget about the location or what the event may have been when the pictures were taken, you see. And she says, take your time to allow yourself to look objectively to that person in the picture. Really look at that person in the picture. Go past the eyes to the story that's underneath, to the person beneath the surface. Say, who were you, really? Who were you? And how can you get more in touch with the truth of who you are? It's a great exercise, it really is. Because it's getting beneath all those layers of who you identify yourself with, and it can be a real spiritual experience. Believe me, it can. You see, because when you wipe away all those layers of who you think you are, there's only one truth. There's only one truth. You are a manifestation, you are an expression of God. You are a child of God, period. Period. You see, when you and I take the time to tap into our inner self, it reveals itself to us. It really does. We also we see the uniqueness of the other people in this world and around us. Because our interconnection to each other. We know we are connected. See, we have to give ourselves permission to really be who we are. To allow others to do the same. So she says, be yourself. Be who you really are. The third aspect that she talks about is stopping obligatory behaviors. In other words, we find ourselves sometimes living a life that gets pretty tedious because we tend to do what? The same thing over and over and over again. We get stuck in these ruts, never bring anything new or stimulating into our life. And believe me, as we get older, that happens more often. Without realizing, we easily lose our energy and our passion for life because of the same old thing. Get these behavior patterns that sometimes find us working, what, endless hours a week perhaps, doing what we think we have to do with no or little time for anything else. Other times we get involved in things we normally wouldn't consider because we don't know how to say no. We don't spend enough time alone in the silence, maybe connecting with our inner self because we just can't find the time. And so we continue doing a job we hate, perhaps, because we're afraid of giving up the security or we feel constricted. Well, wouldn't it be great to feel free to make decisions that are driven solely by our desires and our passion? Wouldn't that be great? To do exactly what we want to do? Nancy says take the time to write down all those things you do because you feel you have to do, and then start gradually replacing them with things you want to do. See, when you commit to what you enjoy and what gives you personal pleasure, it brings out the best in you and it allows your energy to flow freely, to be the light that you really are, that you can be to others. Believe in yourself, be yourself, and stop obligatory behaviors. What a great message, great message. Friends, this is a very significant time in our history. Significant time for us to let our lights shine. Got to do that. We have to begin to be the light. I think you're all aware that fear is now becoming the emotion of the day. For a lot of us, not only in this world, right here, right now, right in our own country, in our own communities. Fear over the pandemic and the ups and downs of the COVID thing. I mean, boy. Fear of the economy. Fear over countries that are run by dictators and have nuclear weapons. Terrorists that might pick, place a strike one more time. Fear over someone who might pick up an automatic rifle and indiscriminately just begin shooting. How many times have we heard that in the last couple of years? Walmart. What was the other store here not too recently? Right in public. Fear over recent weather patterns that are changing. Boy, are they changing. Fear of biological warfare, even artificial intelligence today, the internet and what's happening within the internet. Fear starts to become the essence of who we are. And it's so easy to let fear control our life. As long as we hold that emotion in our consciousness, what are we doing? We're blocking the flow of what in our life? The flow of good. The flow of good in our life. But the good news is that there's a lot of lights that are shining in this world today. There really are. More than we hear about. All we hear about certainly is the headlines, of the bad things that are happening in this world. All the good gets what? The little small print once in a while somewhere. But no matter what the odds are, we must all let our lights shine brighter than ever before. We really do. We all know that new thought, our unity principle and practice is an understanding of truth They're answers to challenges in this world. They really, truly are. We know that peace lives in that inner wisdom and spiritual understanding that every one of us on this earth possesses. We all have it. And you and I share the responsibility to hold our world in a positive, love, and light-filled consciousness, shining our light for others to see and to do likewise. Imagine, like John Lennon, song that he wrote. If the majority of the people on this planet were to do that, is there any doubt that we could change the consciousness of this world? Yeah. Peace would not be just a candle that we light at Advent time, would it? Fear, when replaced with truth, can change everything around us. It really can. Flow of love and peace takes the place of harm and hurt and violence. And with truth, peaceful means are negotiated and are carried out. And you say, however, but I'm only one person. What can I do? So it reminds me of the story of the old man who was walking along the beach where starfish had washed up onto the shore. Thousands of them. And they get up on the sand and they can't get back into the water. Well, this old man was walking along, picking one up and throwing it back into the water. Walk a little further, pick another one up and throw it back into the water. There was a young man strolling along the beach, and he came up to him. And he said, "Oh man, what are you doing? You're throwing one starfish back there." He said, "What kind of difference can that make?" And with that, the old man stopped, reached down, picked up another starfish, threw it out into the water, said, "It makes a difference to that one." I don't know what it means for you to be a light. Only you know that. But you are a light. You are a light of the world. So let your light so shine every day. Every day. Namaste. Peace be with you.